small amounts of information. So this kind of brings us all back to why Facebook. We can share longer form information. We can share links really easily. So you can all very easily share a link to your sponsorship or your location page on Facebook. You can share things on your personal page. And I'm assuming most people here maybe have their own Facebook page or are kind of familiar with sharing content that way. So it's the most intuitive. It's where we're going to reach the most people. And it's where for Wreaths Across America, the official page is what we call it. We reach the most people. We reach almost 500,000 people. So when you create a page for your location, you can kind of use that network to build yours. Did I miss anything, team?
You're good.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're just going to jump into actually setting up a page. The first thing you're going to need is a personal Facebook page. If you don't have a personal page, you're not able to set up a business page, which is the type of page you'll be setting up right now. So your first step will just be to be logged into your personal Facebook page. And at the top right-hand corner, there's a little plus sign. And if you click on that, you can choose the page option, and that will get you started. It'll bring you to a new page where you'll start adding all of your information. Your second step, is to choose your page name. We usually suggest that you use Wreaths Across America with a dash and then your group or location's name. It just creates a lot of symmetry between all of the pages, and it makes it easier. If somebody searches just Wreaths Across America, it'll bring up just Wreaths Across America pages, so you can see all of those there. And then you'll add a category, which is we choose nonprofit. If you start typing in nonprofit right there, it'll pop right up, nonprofit organization, and that's the option you'll choose. And then your last part will be choosing a description, and that can really be anything you want it to be. A lot of people use remember, honor, teach, and tell people what our mission is, or they include some information about their cemetery and why it's important to honor their fallen heroes there. And that's your first couple of steps. Amber. Okay. So then you'll click the create page button at the bottom of the page. It's going to turn blue. You'll click that and it'll take you to the next page, next step. So your next option will be choosing a profile photo and a cover photo. Amber. So for choosing a profile picture, we would like it to either contain the logo or be the logo. The Facebook profile photo is round, our logos are square, but if you, we can like crop it and make a graphic so that it fits there right in the middle of your circle if you just reach out to me. And then a cover photo is the big banner that'll be on the top of your page that really tells people where they are and what they're doing. It can have your location and group name and the date for Wreath Day. And it can be a save the date and let people know when and where to be. And we can create those for you. Just shoot me an email. And then after you do that, you'll click save, and then you'll be on to customizing your page, which is super easy. You'll want to, oh, okay, I skipped a step. This will be setting up your add a button. So the important part of your page is your call to action button that's shown at the top. There's going to be a blue button that says add a button. You'll click that. Then Facebook's going to ask you what button you'd like to see. And there's a ton of different options. But for our pages, we suggest a learn more button. There's a shop now, there's a watch video, there's a few different options, but we suggest learn more so they can go to your page, learn about what you're doing, learn about your location, and they can also sponsor wreaths, sign up to volunteer. So it's just an easy way to get people to your website. All you'll really need is to click that learn more option, and then you'll add the URL to your Wreaths Across America fundraising page. Then you'll just click save and it'll be finalized. After that, you can click on the blue button and it'll give you the option to test button. And that will allow you to see if it actually works and takes you to your correct page. Now it's customizing your page and adding all the important information for your followers and supporters. So this is where you'll add You can edit your description. You can add an email address so people can reach out to you outside of Facebook if they don't want to send you just a message. You can also add another link to your page so it's just in multiple places, and add some cemetery information. People are coming to your page to learn about what you're doing. Not just about the Wreaths Across America mission as a whole, but about what you're doing at your cemetery. And then what you'll want to do is just invite your friends and family. There's a box right beside the create post section on your page, and it'll say invite friends to like your page. If you click see all friends, you can invite everybody on your page that follows you on your personal page, or you can go through and select who to invite. You can also take the link to your page and post that in any community pages that you may be involved in. If your town or city has a community bulletin board on Facebook, you can add it there and it'll give you more of a reach.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Sam. So now that you have set up your page, and I will say, I know that's a lot, especially if you're not super familiar with Facebook. So we are here to help kind of walk you through that again. That's what this team is for. So reach out if you need those instructions again, or need us to kind of walk you through those steps, because the most important thing is setting it up and setting it up right, so you don't have to go back in and fix things, so that when people land on your page, they know exactly what they're getting. They know exactly what location you are and what organization you're affiliated with, and that's Wreaths Across America. So our priority is making sure that those pages are correct and on brand and accurately reflecting kind of what we want them to. So with that said, you don't want your page to just be empty. So you want to get some nice content up there. And by content, we mean news, updates, photos, graphics, if you're feeling fancy. And you want to plan that content out. So we've kind of figured that the hardest part of this is not the setup, but is keeping yourself accountable to keeping the page up to date. So people are going to want to know what's going on, maybe like how close you are to your goal, what you're doing in your community, how you're supporting veteran organizations. Maybe a local veteran has a story. There's so much content out there. And again, you can reach out to us. We could talk about content for 3 hours. There's so many great positive stories out there to share, whether they're about Wreaths Across America or veterans, or anything. But planning your content is probably going to be the most important to keeping you accountable to posting. So, people will forget to post in a couple of weeks, and then you realize, and you're like, oh my gosh, my Facebook page has been sitting there dormant without anything new to say. So we create Facebook or social media content calendars, and you can make this in a spreadsheet if it's easier for you to do a Word doc, if it's easier for you to put a reminder in your email or on an alarm clock a couple times a week to post something on your Facebook page. Whatever works for you, we support that. So planning out themes that you want to cover, whether it's directing people to your sponsorship page, directing people to local media, maybe featuring some local volunteers. Again, we could talk for hours about different types of content, but planning ahead tends to help too. So you're not doing one, the same thing over and over, and two, so you're covering all of the messages that you want to share with your community and with your supporters. A very helpful tool that helps with that is the monthly messaging guide. So Sam puts together a really amazing messaging guide for each month. So we just finalized the April one, and it goes out to all location coordinators each month. Is that right, Sam? It goes to everyone?
Yep.
Yeah.
Group leaders too, I think.
Okay, so you should get that in an email. Open it if you haven't yet. It has some really fantastic resources, all free. You don't have to do anything except for save it to your computer and then upload it to your Facebook page. Graphics, Sam, will look at calendars and say, this month we have National Vietnam Veterans Day. So she'll make a graphic for that. Or this month has Veterans Day. She'll make a graphic for that. So not only is it a nice reminder for you for the observances that are coming up, but it's really a plug and play. She also always includes a bunch of save the date graphics about the theme. So the annual theme, which is live up to their legacy this year. What else? A lot of ideas. So it's different every month. So if you're using anything, use the messaging guide. I highly recommend it. I think it doesn't get used enough, honestly. And there are some really great graphics in there. So take
Just
advantage of that.
to reiterate, just so everyone knows what email that comes in. So the location connection monthly newsletter that goes to location coordinators and group leaders, that's where that is. So at the end of every month, we send out something for the month. So we'll be sending out our location connection next week for March. And in it, we'll have the April messaging guide at the bottom. If for some reason you are not receiving those emails once a month, they're usually the last week of the month, please let your liaison know and we can get that fixed.
Yeah, thank you. Can you click to the next slide, please? Thank you. So I sort of already said all of this, but making sure that any content that you are posting on your page is relevant and current. So staying clear of anything that might be controversial, just don't, because people on Facebook, and I'm sure everyone here is familiar with this, like to have heated discussions, just, keep it neutral if you can, keep it positive if you can, and also keep it current. So we have seen, and there's nothing wrong with this, but we have seen stories shared of like this amazing tribute that happened to a veteran, and people are engaging with it and people are very excited about it, but then we realized that it was in 2013. So making sure that any news stories that you're sharing, any videos that you're sharing, if they are old, just call that out. Say, this is a throwback video, we wanted to bring it back. Otherwise, making sure that anything you're sharing is current and having to do with your community, so that people who are engaging with it are relating to it. Again, sharing stories that have to do with the theme. So our hashtag for the theme is hashtag live up to their legacy 2021. We have it all over the main page, the Wreaths Across America official page. So if you do need any ideas, head over to the official page. You can even share directly from there. And we actually encourage that because it helps our message get out to your smaller communities. And it's all one message. So that's a good thing. You can copy and paste from the Wreaths Across America official page. Yeah, I think I've covered a lot of. Does anyone else have other ideas that I haven't mentioned? News stories, events, graphics.
I would say the news stories are a big one,
Yeah.
especially if you're doing the work on the local level to engage with your media, and which if you attended last month or earlier this month, Sean and I did a presentation about public relations and engaging with your local media, sharing stories that they're doing about the mission from their page is, if you see something on your local TV that they did about you, which is a great story, share it from their page. They'll appreciate the share because it helps their numbers. And then it also shows that it's coming from a credible source, which is the media. So that's a great way to highlight the good work that you're doing.
That's a really good point. Yeah. And I will say the bottom here makes a really good point on this slide is that, if anyone's looking for an event that's going on, news that's happening, if something is happening at your cemetery or your location on National Wreaths Across America Day that you need to update people, Facebook is where they're going to go. So make sure that that page has all of the updated information. If you learn something, that's the first place that it should go, so that everyone who is visiting your page also knows. And on the next slide, we'll talk about, short link. Do you want to jump into that, or do we want to go ahead and come back to it?
Michelle, you could speak to that if you'd like.
Sure. So your short link, if you're not familiar, this will be your Wreaths Across America page specific to your location or group. And so that will be your wreathsacrossamerica.org/your group ID or your location ID. And it's really important to know this because that's going to be always the easiest way for sponsorships to go directly to your location or group. So we always recommend that if you are posting on Facebook that you include this either in the body of the post or as a comment in addition to the post. And, if you drop a link like that into a Facebook page, that will pre-populate, as you can see there in the example, with the information about your page. But if you are sharing out, for instance, photos from our monthly messaging guide, You're going to want to share those as a photo post, but don't hesitate to add that link in right there so people can find it if you're asking people to go ahead and share sponsorships from your page.
So I just want to reiterate, anyone who's registered with Wreaths Across America as a participating location or a sponsorship group has a custom URL with our website. It's wreathsacrossamerica.org/your ID. So that's either your location ID or your group ID. And it's literally the ID just listed out. So if you are registered and active with Wreaths Across America, you have a custom link as long as your page, as long as you've reinstated and you've gotten your page set up, you will have that link. And that is the best way to get people to go directly to your page to make sure that people are donating to your group or your location. So I know this is something that we talk about a lot, but it's something that is not used as much as it should be. And it's the easiest way to guarantee funds are being given to your group or location.
Oh, Jordan, you're on mute.
I was talking to myself. So I said some really good stuff too. So going back to content, which clearly, you know, this team is very passionate about content, because if content on your page is not fresh and exciting and new, people are going to tune you out. So really paying attention to creating some really fun, colorful, eye-catching content, and graphics are the way to do that. And I know it can feel really overwhelming to have a Facebook page and also have to be creating graphics from scratch. And that is why we are here. So like I said, in Sam's messaging guide, there are graphics that you can use. You can plug and play. You just save it to your desktop and then upload it into a Facebook post and write something about what it says. If you do want to create your own graphics, we are also here to help with that. We ask that most graphics use the Wreaths Across America logo or the words Wreaths Across America, just so people can automatically connect your page and that graphic with the brand and with the organization of Wreaths Across America. What else? We have branded fonts, certain fonts that we prefer used. I think using your best judgment is kind of the best practice here. We are not super strict, as you'll see if you look at the official page. We don't only stick to the branded fonts because we like to have a little bit of fun with cursive and, you know, bubble letters, etc. But always staying appropriate, always staying professional. It's okay to have fun, but making sure that, you know, grammar is correct, that everything kind of has a call to action, whether it's honor your veterans or sponsor a wreath, or everything has a purpose. And there are tools that you can use to really, really easily make a graphic. One of them is called canva.com. It's free to use. They have a lot of free photos on there. It's super fun once you have an account just to play around. And we're here to help you with that too. So, and there is a URL here and there. I saw a couple questions in the chat about these slides going out. They will, right? We'll send them out to this group.
Yeah, we will. And for now, that URL is active for now until the new website gets launched, but then we'll make it even easier for folks after that.
Awesome. Yeah, so that will be helpful to have. And just going back to these guidelines, red, white, and blue, always good. Green represents balsam, always good. You know, try to stay clear of the bright pink and lime green if you can, but if there's a purpose for them and you can make it work, make it work. I mean, it's your personality, it's your location. If there's a reason for it, I don't see why anything would be completely off limits. But once again, this team is here to kind of run those by and help you out with that formatting. Next slide. Awesome. So these are just a few of the graphics that we have created that you may have seen if you follow along on the official page. Different topics to cover, right? So we have the theme, Live Their Legacy 2021, or Live Up to Their Legacy. We have logos on each of them. We make a graphic every Friday for Red Day, Remember Everyone Deployed. Every Tuesday, we do flags across the country at Tuesday at 9 a.m. So it's a nice way to just remind people of things that are coming up, of themes that are present. We'll pull quotes. It's really, really easy to go on Google and Google patriotic quotes or quotes that thank our veterans or quotes about Vietnam veterans. There are so many quotes out there from historians, from historical figures, from leaders that you can pull, put them into a graphic, and people really, really like sharing those from our page and they enjoy engaging with them. And Michelle just put in the chat a page that has some nice quotes. And we like to use images in those graphics that are from Wreath events. So you'll see this police officer and the flag all the way to the left is from the escort to Arlington. So if you ever need photos, let us know. We have a ton, but also take photos at your National Wreaths Across America Day event. You can repurpose them over and over and over. They don't need to be graphics. You can just post a photo and in the copy of the post, put your inspirational quote or put a call to action or put your link. It's super easy. Once you start, I guarantee it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I would add, if the idea of making graphics makes you hesitate about getting started at all, don't feel like you have to, for sure. You know, just sharing photos of your location, of veterans in your community, things like that can be really powerful.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so I mentioned this at the beginning, but we have Twitter and Instagram and also LinkedIn, but I don't know that LinkedIn is super relevant for smaller local groups, especially if you're just getting started. So if you do want to talk about LinkedIn, let us know. But for Twitter and Instagram, also both really good channels to use locally. Twitter, like I said, is very short pieces of information. You can share a link, you can share a graphic if you want to, you can share a photo. We like to use Twitter to engage with media. Media are on Twitter, so local reporters in your area might be on Twitter, sharing their stories, sharing their posts, so you can engage with them. It's a really nice place to do that. Engaging with other organizations, so partner organizations like the Gary Sinise Foundation, Honor Flight, they're all on Twitter, so we like to share their content in the hopes that they'll share ours back. And of course, we are the official pages on Twitter. So if you do decide to create a Twitter page, the setup is very similar to Facebook. You have a profile photo and a header image, and then be sure to engage with us, us being the official page. So it's at Wreaths Across, and we can certainly help you with that. Same thing with Instagram. So going back just quickly, very similar, except if you have an influx of photos or you are really passionate about creating graphics, Instagram might be the channel for you. So the only downside I would say of Instagram is it's difficult to share different links because when you put a link in a post on Instagram, it is not clickable. And I'm not sure why they made that rule, but it's a rule. So if you like, it's kind of like a live photo album. If you're passionate about sharing photos, and Instagram might be a nice add-on to your Facebook. But with all of that said, if you are just getting started on social media and this is all completely overwhelming, ignore everything I just said about Twitter and Instagram and focus solely on Facebook, because that is truly where you're going to reach the most people and it's going to be the most intuitive for you to build.
Okay, ladies, I'm going to actually unshare my screen here, I think, and so that we can take some questions, possibly. There we go. Okay, so if you have questions, you can raise your hand, you can unmute yourself. We'll try and find folks.
This is Varela Fish from Quartzsite, Arizona. Does Jordan have a particular phone number that we would call to ask for help?
We can give Sam, we can give out your number.
Okay. I posted my email in the chat, but my direct line is 207-221-5169.
Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah, and just keep that in mind. That's a good question, Verla, because honestly, we know that this, you know, there's a lot of information that was just shared. And that being said, Sam is really here to help anyone get started that needs help getting started. She's also admin or co-admin on a lot of the location and group pages to help folks who are just getting started until they feel comfortable.
Sam,
This is
give your phone number again.
We'll put it in the chat, Becky.
Okay,
Sam, why don't you drop it right in the chat, and we'll make sure that when we send these slides out and the recording, Becky, we'll make sure that everyone's contact information is there.
okay, thank you.
No worries.
this is Heather from Elgin, South Carolina, and we are literally right around the corner from a national cemetery. So on the Wreaths Across America homepage, and the red sponsor wreath button has really been kind of a problem for us here, that when I tell individuals to go to the white lettering that's very, very small under the red button, specific cemetery, they always miss it. I know that you mentioned about having our own independent page and everything like that. However, that having that specific cemetery in such small white lettering under that big red button has been a little bit of a headache for us here.
Hi, Heather. So this is Amber, and you're talking about, just so everyone's clear, you're talking about our website, not social media.
Correct.
So yeah, so our website is currently in process of being redone, and there will be some changes made there that address some of those issues. That being said, directing people with your URL is the best way to get people to go directly to your page. And that's why we created that custom URL capability, so people could do that. That being said, you can go to this, currently if you hit the sponsor button, you can still select a specific location or group, but there will be some additional changes that are coming downstream with the new website.
Hi, everyone. Bob Bradley from Philadelphia. I want to thank Jordan and everyone for hosting everything today. I help administer Facebook page for our local historical site. So at least I know some of the basics, and I hadn't really considered a separate Facebook page for Wreaths Across America event. So thank you for that reminder. And do you mind if I post my historic site up just to give everyone an idea of content and what works and what might not work?
You mean right now? I actually, funny you should say that, Bob. I can't actually give you that ability right now because this is a new upgrade to Zoom, which is why I'm doing everything, because I wasn't able to share that capability with my team this morning. So I apologize. So if you wanted to post it in your link to your page in the chat, that would be really helpful.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't meaning,
that.
Yeah, I didn't mean sharing, screen sharing or taking over or anything like that.
Oh, okay. Sorry. But yes,
No
you
worries.
can definitely go ahead and share. Please do. We would, I think it's a great thing. And I don't mean to talk over the social team by any means, but we love to see people who are doing a good job. We actually have some really great locations and groups who are doing a fantastic job sharing what's happening in their community. So please definitely share that. Yeah,
and this is the first time I'm hosting Wreaths Across America event, or helping to. So there's new stuff for me, and it's nice because it's a local VFW, and I want to tap into their existing network and get new networks and get the good word out.
Awesome. Thank you, Bob, and welcome. Happy to have you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Carlos, I think you wanted to go?
Yeah, quick comment. With communication and cooperation, obviously with the directors, is always catalyst to helping us out. Pictures like I have at the back, I'm going to use that exemplifies the wreaths at our cemetery, Cypress Hills. But what I wanted to mention very quickly of an upcoming event that I think everybody can capitalize on is on March 29th is National Vietnam Veterans Day. So, I talked to our director and she said, due to COVID, CDC restrictions, we can't really have a crowd just yet. But, certainly a couple of people and laying a wreath, saying a few words, to commemorate the pulling out of our troops in Vietnam, certainly will bring attention. And we're going to use that as a medium or as an event that's coming up. Gives everybody an idea that it's right around the corner. Test the water, so to speak. Get your talking and walking shoes out there, and it helps you out there. So It's my
No, we
2 cents.
appreciate that. Carlos, we're actually, Wreaths Across America's official Facebook page is going to be doing a live on Monday, March 29th in recognition of Vietnam Veterans Remembrance Day. And that's something that you can, if you have a page of your own, you can share that link with your audience and share that live feed. Karen Worcester, our executive director, is going to be speaking with a local museum curator who actually has the largest display of Vietnam veteran POW memorabilia in the country. So we're excited to share that. We'll be sending that information out next week, but you're absolutely right. That's a great thing to share.
Thank you.
Am I missing anybody else? Oh, Betty Williams, I see your hand up.
Hi, this is Betty from California. I know that you have yard signs available with that you can have the link on there. Do you guys have flags that are available too?
Renee Worcester, would you like to take this one?
Me on the spot, Amber. Are you looking for like the 3x5 flags, the same size as like a flag you'd fly on your house, or are you looking for smaller flags that like we put on our wreaths?
Big or smaller? It had something I could put on my yard so that people could see it from the street.
Yeah, so we do
Because
have
The yard signs don't seem to, I don't think they're very effective.
Sure. Yeah, we do have the Wreaths Across America flag on our merchandise page.
But can we put our link on there? Can that be
They're not
put on there?
customizable, but we could definitely talk about doing something like that.
Okay.
Yep, I can throw my email in the chat and we can reach out.
Okay, thank you.
It's nice to see some new faces and hear from new folks. Thanks
Yeah.
everybody for joining. I'm not sure if I'm missing anybody. If I am, please speak up if I'm not seeing you. Like I said, I upgraded my Zoom and I'm all confused. Normally I have this down because Julie does it.
Well, we have a sec, since Carlos brought it up. Live streaming on Facebook can be a really great option if you are thinking about having an event and maybe you can't have as many people there in person as you normally would have, or even it's just something that happens kind of spur of the moment and you don't have the opportunity to get the word out as much. Going live from your Facebook page can be a really great way to bring more people into that community and let them have access to something special that is happening. And it's very easy to do. So we actually have some like how-to materials around that if that's something anyone's looking for.
Yeah, it was a great point. And actually a lot of folks were able to do that this year because of COVID. We had several locations that were able to just do a live event on their Facebook page to share the ceremonial wreath placement. And it's a great way to get the community involved, even though they couldn't physically be there. Catherine, you want to go ahead? I think you had something to say.
Yeah, well, a couple things. First, in reference to the flags, we're starting next week. We found a distributor here in out of Cape May, New Jersey, who had a "We Will Never Forget" garden flag. It's not the Wreaths Across America logo, but it's a beautiful, a Marine sharing the folded flag, perhaps giving it to the family. And we're using that as well as small garden flags, American flags, as a fundraiser that we're going to try to do right through this early spring to see if we can raise some more money. So we're going to try now that we can get a few more things based on the current situation that we're in here in New Jersey. But that was my next question was, the school has a Facebook page and they will conduct a Memorial Day program with local veterans. And we're hoping to have that live streamed. Mm-hmm. Should we link that directly because the location doesn't have a Facebook page now. Mm-hmm. So if we can set one up, can that be worked interconnectedly? Is that possible?
You
Like
can share
the link.
You can share the live feed from the school's page to your location page.
Okay.
Yeah. So it'll show on both pages.
So we'll show them both. Okay.
And I
Great.
would also encourage you, Catherine, if the school, because I know the school has a pretty big following, if you wanted to go ahead and make, if you make your Wreaths Across America page, have the school make you a co-host on and invite, like have an actual event, like calendar invitation on Facebook,
Okay.
so that
Uh-huh.
people know it's coming so they
Right.
know to tune in to watch it.
Okay. All right. I'll talk to them there because I don't, they set that up for themselves, of course.
Yep.
But now I want to set something up here because I think this is, it's going to be helpful since we don't get too much media coverage, which we want to work on. That's something, hopefully I'll reach out to Sean. And now that I got the toolkit, I want to try to work on. Sean, I want to connect to you. Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you very much for everything. This is great.
Thank you, Catherine. All right, Catherine's school, and I'm gonna, the name of the school is gonna escape me, and I apologize, Catherine, because it was such a memorable experience. It's just, there was over 500 kids that went through the mobile education exhibit that day that I was there. Can you please remind me the name of your school?
Sure. It's Passaic County Technical Vocational
Thank
High
you.
School. Mhm.
Very cool school, a very cool school. And they all got to experience the trailer, education trailer a couple of years ago, and actually meet Moral Worcester at the time too. That was
Yeah,
cool.
we did. It was great. Great day.
Anybody else? Oh, I'm sorry. I see a hand up right there. Al, go ahead, Al.
Is all these slides going to be up on the website so we can review these?
We're gonna email them to you, Al.
Okay, good, because this is going to be very helpful. I want to, this year, my main goal is to get a truly functional web page up here in the next couple months. But I'll be talking with Tiffany here starting, well, I'm going to call her next week so we can arrange some time. I've got a ton of questions.
That's great. Well, we're here to help. And I say, when I say we, I mean
I'm
them.
grateful. Believe me, I am grateful. Because let's put it this way, the social media end is something new to me. I've never had to deal with it before, but as a coordinator now, I'm going to have to deal with it, so I might as well learn it so I can do it. It's a phenomenal tool. And I'm very grateful for all the effort that you guys have put into this.
Well, we're excited. We'll get you going, Al. You'll be all ready to go in no time. Sam will get you all set up.
Thank you.
Happy to help.
Awesome. Well, just to reiterate, in case I think that's everybody that I've seen with their hands up. So just to reiterate, so Sam is on staff, Michelle, Jordan are part of our team, big, huge part of our team. We will make sure that contact information, if there's anything that Sam can't do, she'll bring Jordan and Michelle into the mix to help, but we'll be sending out an email. You'll get an email from your liaisons with this recording and the actual PowerPoint and contact information so you can reach out with questions. And, don't feel free. There is no such thing as a silly question when it comes to social media. Every single person, even the people who are on social media every day, learn something new every day, probably because it changes all the time. So there's always something more to learn. And it's free. Yep, good point. It's free. It's a great tool. And we're excited to help everybody and get going. Appreciate everyone joining us today.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, ladies.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a great weekend.
Thank
I
you.
know.